Hello everybody, welcome to Awesome Rusty Bucket. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and drop a like on this video. I'm trying to hit 100k subscribers, so your subscription would be much appreciated. Also drop a like, it only takes 1 second. It makes a massive difference in how the video performs in the YouTube algorithm. So in today's video, I want to talk about why the Milwaukee Bucks have solidly become my prediction to win the 2023 championship. I previously, when I made a video ranking contenders, said that the Celtics and the Bucks are 1A and 1B, with the Celtics being the 1B there. I realize I ordered that wrong, but you get my point. Basically on the same tier. I would be surprised if the team that wins the championship this year is not wearing green. And while I still hold that Boston is the second most likely team to win a championship, I also think Milwaukee is just, at this point, definitely better, because Khris Middleton's been better a lot lately, and Brook Lopez is somehow peaking at the age of 34 and is probably going to, if not win DPOY, bare minimum be in second place. I have a video talking about the Defensive Player of the Year race earlier on this channel a couple of days ago, so if you want to go check that out, go for it. As a whole, I feel stronger about the Milwaukee Bucks than I do everybody else, and let me explain why. Now, first things first, I think their defense, the only other defense that could compare with Milwaukee's defense, is, again, Boston. But Robert Williams actually playing is always a question mark after they deal with the Celtics. I don't really think you've got any other defense that is going to even really touch Milwaukee's. Like, I think if we're just talking about pure defense, it's 1A, 1B, Boston and Milwaukee. Although I realize that Boston's defense can, like, weirdly be bad sometimes when it has no business being that. But I am confident that when the playoffs come around, they will knock out those inconsistencies, because the Celtics did a great job of knocking out those inconsistencies when the playoffs come around last year. Knocking out inconsistencies is also an issue that the Milwaukee Bucks had in their 2021 run when they won a championship, where even though they obviously were the championship team, they were also, like, consistently having games where they just looked like shit, and particularly their half-court offense. But while it definitely got a little bit worse in the middle of the year, what the Bucks were doing early on in the season with Giannis and the half-court offense, they have gone back to. And if you recall, if you were there for when I was talking about it, I super duper loved what the Bucks were doing offensively with Giannis, where they weren't just giving him the ball at the top of the key and asking him to just be great. And the thing is, Giannis is so great that he is able to consistently do that, but it's also a lot more predictable and defensible for these NBA teams, so it ultimately resulted in predictable offense and half-court offense overall being shit. Another thing that really plays in their favor is that Jrue Holiday has had so many reps as, like, the number 2 guy, rather, this year, that in the absence of Khris Middleton, that I feel like he's honestly been a better shot creator and shooter than he has really ever been in Milwaukee, to the point where I trust him significantly more in these playoffs than I did in the 2021 run, because Jrue Holiday's overall scoring was really rough in that run. His playmaking was phenomenal. His defense was phenomenal. Ultimately, that's what won them the championship. That's how he contributed to winning the championship, obviously. But if you throw in there that Jrue Holiday is now going to be hitting his shots, hitting his threes, creating off of the dribble rather consistently, if he's really doing that consistently, then sky's kind of the limit. And then you get Khris Middleton, who, again, I mentioned has been ramping things up lately. He's still not the most consistent in the world, still not where I'd like him to be, obviously. But I also think he has shown enough in the last couple of weeks of basketball that when he has played, because he's been in and out, because they're trying not to have him get injured again. But when he's been playing, he's just looked a lot better, looked more comfortable. While he hasn't ramped up counting stats, not that he's ever been like a crazy high counting stats guy, but while he hasn't ramped up counting stats to a high degree by any means, visually just seeing him out there, he looks like he belongs again. And that was the big issue, was he looked like a shell of himself. He looked like there were a lot of times where the Bucks would just be better off if he was not on the court. But at this point, that's not the case. I trust Khris Middleton to be at least 80% of what he was for the 2021 run, and wherever that 20% will be made up for, in that Jrue Holiday has been much better. And then, of course, Brook Lopez, who has been better on both ends of the floor. Noteworthy, of course, is the defense, but also, speaking of three-point shooting, his three ball has been dropping a lot more. And if Brook Lopez is actually hitting his threes, that makes him have a lot more value in the postseason, because one of the big reasons why he ended up playing like 18 to 20 minutes a game in the finals was that offensively the Suns were leaving him open and he wasn't hitting those threes. This year, he has been hitting his threes in a much more respectable clip, and if that translates to the playoffs, then that's really huge. Really, just the fact that the team in general hits their three ball more consistently than they did before gives me a ton of confidence in their offense that I didn't have before. The fact that Jrue Holiday has had more reps and really seemed to come into his zone as a shot creator has definitely helped. And then, of course, as I previously mentioned, Giannis's utilization in the offense, where he's more big man-like, he gets more post-ups, he gets more cuts, he gets more screening action where he's doing like a screen off ball and then cutting, things like that. In general, using Giannis more off ball, which then elevates the times that he is on ball to where he's really only doing it when he's got the real significant advantage, not forcing things, which is really key for this half-court offense, because their biggest issue has always historically been that they just have to force up offense. Things look a lot easier, things look a lot smoother, and you take that offensive punch that I think is just simply better than the 2021 team, and then you throw on top of the fact that their defense is somehow even better than that 2021 team because of how good Brook has been. I really believe in this team a lot. And again, if we're comparing this to the 2021 team, other than the Boston Celtics, I don't see a super strong team that they have to worry about. Like, I could see the Cavs giving them some problems because they just have a very good matchup. I could also see, if they made the finals, like the Nuggets or Suns being a little bit of an issue for them. But even then, I'm pretty strongly favoring whoever they would face out west, favoring against them. So yeah, that's just my thoughts on Milwaukee. If you disagree, let me know who is your title favorite. And if it is Milwaukee, let me know why you agree, other than the own things that I said, because I do feel like there are things that I'm not even properly communicating as to why I feel so much better about this team. Another thing, of course, is that they have the best player in the world, and that always helps. But yeah, shout out to Verdi for editing this video, and goodbye.
Yeah, looks like he did it again, folks. Another video that doesn't quite reach that 8-minute mark, where we can monetize it a little bit better than if it wasn't less than 8 minutes. So looks like I have to stall for like 22 seconds or something like that. Not sure how long it's been here. Oh, 19. Check out our podcast, The Shoot Around, link in description.